So this video I made is how to on designing a web page using HTML and CSS from a multimedia project. So this first line of coding is probably the most important part. It just specifies to the engineering software what type of design language I will be using, in this case HTML. With HTML, the setup is an opening and closing tag, like you can see there. The difference is that / in the closing tag, and is followed up by two subsections, the head and the body. Now the body is where all the real information is placed for the website. The headings, the paragraphs, where the images will be going. So what I'm doing right now is just saving my home page in the correct spot, close to all my other folders where my videos and photos will be for easy access. So this title I am entering into the head subsection is the title of the web page, just specifying what web page this is. H1 stands for heading 1, or the biggest type of heading. You will shortly see just how big it is, and you've got 6 different types of headings you can choose from. H1, H2, all the way to 6, and they get progressively smaller as you go along. When I pull up the web page, you will see that it is quite big. P stands for paragraph, and this is what we usually use the most if we just want to enter a bunch of different word type content. As you can see, it is in a relatively small font compared to the heading 1 we used. And as there you can see, I'm using H2, which will be slightly smaller. Now we get into the real content of my web page. UL stands for unordered list, or as I'll demonstrate soon, it doesn't have an order like 1, 2, 3, and 4. It usually comes in the form of a bullet point list. As you can see there, 1 point for one list item. And that's where the content comes inside that list item brackets. Once again, you can see opening bracket, closing bracket, with that / being the closing one. I changed the UL to OL, which stands for ordered list, and as you can see, it changed the dots to 1 and 2, and the more list items you add, the further down the list will go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, etc. Now I'm just entering what we learned throughout this course. We worked in Photoshop, Illustrator, Audition, and now with Premiere Pro. In this next line of code, you will see I use the IM, or image code, and this is used to enter images into the web page. SRC stands for source, or where the photo is based from. So it's very important that you pathfind to the correct folder. As you can see there, I wrote down photo and then to the correct image. I usually copy and paste it to eliminate the small chance that I misspell the photo. photo name. Another nifty thing you can do in HTML is you can adjust the width and height of the photo. This is very important because usually the images we import is much bigger than the actual web page size. So we always need to specify the width and the height of this photo, as you can see there. You can see there that second image looks a bit skewed, so I play around with some of the sizes and come across this one that makes the image look right. So a PDF format can't be imported like a photo, so we have to use a different line of code, which is object. But it still has the same basis as the photo, which you will see object, the opening and closing tag, same as everything else in HTML. Data is just the location of the PDF file, much like source is for photos. And once again, we can specify the width and the height which this object is presented on the web page. For those of you who don't know, PX at the end of the 400s stands for pixels. You do not necessarily have to put in PX. The browser already knows that any number entered will be taken as a pixel, but it is often better for us to put it in as PX to just make sure we know what we are working with. Next up is Audition, which we worked with some audio. I will be importing my terrible podcast. Let's see how we tackle this. Much the same as everything else, source and then the location of the audio. As you can see, there is an audio file which we specify like everything else we did beforehand, and we make doubly sure to enter into the browser or the software the correct name of the file. Now, because audio isn't an image or a file, we use controls and autoplay to specify what happens when we first load up the page. As you can see, controls gives you the play, pause button, the volume button, and the little bar at the bottom to adjust where you are in the audio. Autoplay only stands for that once you load up the web design or web page, that the audio will immediately start playing. What I'm doing right now is just linking up the CSS with the HTML coding, so I can change up some of the design of the website. For example, the background color, the font, and how the text is centered. And then follow it up by changing out some of the list style types, just to round off the web page nicely and finish it up with a clean, professional look. Thank you so much for watching the video. It was a very basic introduction to HTML and CSS. I hope you enjoyed.